always tell everybody, I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's going to be the next one down.
For Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup.
It's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence is because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents.
Terence Crawford sets the tone at a fiery press conference, directing his words straight at Canelo Alvarez. He emphasizes that his mission has always been to prove himself inside the ring, through discipline and skill. However, Crawford issues a warning: if Canelo crosses the line with disrespect, then things could quickly turn personal. His sharp, intense remarks reflect both his mental readiness and physical preparation, leaving no doubt about his confidence heading into the fight.
You a there is stuff. You a see you a hold on. Talking to let Aaron. You a cause you keep talking like you doing all that talking. That's how you doing all that talking. You can't be gotta come back. I come back. Don't talk, and you talking too much. This you want some attention? Right here. This is gonna be legendary. Right here. Female ass. So y'all tune in. This is a legendary old school fight. Get out some attention. Put the camera on him, because that's what he's doing. Showing out like a female. Let him finish, bud. Go ahead, EJ. Yeah.
Trainer Greg Hackett strongly backs Crawford's chances, pointing to his fearless mentality. Hackett explains that Crawford never enters the ring with hesitation or intimidation, even against dominant champions like Canelo. This self-belief, he insists, is not arrogance but the product of years of discipline, adaptability, and consistent victories. For Hackett, confidence is the most powerful weapon a fighter can carry, and Crawford has it in abundance. He believes Crawford thrives under pressure, and views this fight not as an uphill battle, but as another chance for him to prove why he belongs at the very top.
Yeah, they taking Crawford. You got people that was taking Crawford. They taking Canelo.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
It should be that way because we talking about a great fight here. We talking about two great athletes. So when it's like this, it's better for the betting. You know what I mean? All the people that like to bet, it's better for them. You know what I mean? Because nobody knows where the money gonna land. The reason I have so much confidence in this fight, you know, thinking that it's gonna be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents in the past were nervous, scared from the beginning. I don't think Bud feel that way at all. I think we can get a good rumble on our hands. You know what I mean? It's just gonna come down to the big question for Bud is, can he take the shot? You know what I'm saying? The question I think for Canelo is, does he get old? I say that for a reason. Because he got a lot of fights, bro. He got, I think he going on almost 70 fights. You know what I'm saying? Or he a little bit under 70. That's a lot of fights for current time. You know what I'm saying? And Bud got a lot of gas still left, but he's older as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people would like to give him shit for not being able to take a shot, or not that he didn't take the shot, but getting buzzed with some shots at lower weight classes. So it's like, how can he handle himself at 168 pounds? But you have to understand the physical to understand how. You know what I mean? I'm not about to get into all of that, but you know what I mean? I do understand he will be a lot more sturdy at 68. I mean, if you smart, you've seen it at 47 versus.
Respected commentator Adam Smith calls the matchup a huge step up for Crawford, but a winnable one. He highlights Crawford's exceptional boxing IQ, adaptability, and speed as major weapons against Canelo's defensive style. Smith argues that Crawford has the tools to exploit Canelo's openings, outthink him across 12 rounds, and potentially win on points. He describes the fight as a contest that could push both men to their absolute physical and mental limits, with Crawford's strategic brilliance possibly making the difference.
September the 13th, it's billed as fight of the century. I do feel as though this one, for such an unbelievably good fight, the prospect of, it has gone under the radar a bit. We've spoken more about fights that are not even.
Remember Eubank Ben? I mean, how much you spoke about?
No,
that?
I love that fight.
Yeah, but compared to these two guys,
Yeah,
but that's in Britain. That's prime time here. It's the football casuals. I think the problem with this fight is it is just a fabulous boxing matchup and one with all sorts of curiosity between two superstars. The Ring magazine's dedicated the entire magazine, but this is boxing. It's hardcore boxing. I think Canelo is known. I think Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70-odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong super middleweight, really, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo. But is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as his coming out party. The big news, it's on Netflix, so he'll get the attention. Can Crawford do it? It's a huge step again in weights, but I think he's got the speed, and I think he's got the know-how, I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, to cause problems for Canelo, and I think that he could.
Analyst today Oladipo offers a more critical take. While acknowledging the attention surrounding the fight, he argues that it lacks the unique intrigue of other recent blockbusters like Usyk versus Dubois. In his view, the weight gap and expectations tilted toward Canelo make the fight appear less balanced. To him, the excitement feels more manufactured by promotion than by true competitive suspense, which tempers his enthusiasm compared to other high-profile showdowns.
Like, you know, it's been billed as the biggest fight of the century. Some are saying the biggest fight of all time. Let's calm down, people. Let's breathe a little bit. It's a big fight. But it doesn't quite feel like those things. It doesn't feel like the biggest fight of the century. Like, this doesn't feel like, and maybe because I work these events, so it's slightly different, but this doesn't feel like Usyk Fury, for example. It doesn't feel like that at all. That felt like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Undisputed heavyweight title fight. Remember, this is an undisputed super middleweight title fight. It just feels a bit lacking of something. Like, I can't believe that Max Kellerman is now part of this. And again, for nostalgia, we haven't got a Max Kellerman face-off. Now, how Canelo speaks great English now. How we haven't got that? Just to kind of give it a bit of spice, because Canelo, with his English, it's like he's only learnt the bad words. He does chat a lot of shit. So I almost felt like we should have done that. Maybe because it's on Netflix, it hasn't got a bit of a push from ESPN. Obviously, there's no DAZN stuff, obviously, because DAZN are not covering it. I feel like it's lacking something. And maybe because both of them don't trash talk either. Because when I think of the biggest fights of the last sort of 15, 20 years, we've always had one side of the fight, or one side is a big trash talker. In some instances, two. The biggest fights, again, Usyk Fury. Fury was happy to do all the trash talking. Sold it. The event went massive. Mayweather Pacquiao. Mayweather is happy to do all that, right? Mayweather McGregor, hence why that went just colossal, because you got two of the biggest trash talkers ever doing it. This time, Canelo ain't saying anything, Crawford ain't saying anything. Feels a bit flat. Feels a little bit flat.
Promoters, however, have treated Crawford versus Canelo as a cultural event, branding it the biggest fight of the century. With Netflix backing the promotion, the spectacle has grown far beyond the boxing world. Behind-the-scenes documentaries, interviews, and exclusive coverage have pulled in audiences who normally don't follow the sport. This blending of sports and entertainment has elevated anticipation to levels usually reserved for crossover events, making the fight a global phenomenon.
I'm holding you to the standard you said. They're tagging this the fight of the century, colossal, super fight, Netflix, Dana White, right? So now we got to look at it. You can't tell me something. See, I'm not the type of person where you could pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. If that's you and you're going to let somebody urinate on your leg and tell you it's raining, that's on you. But I don't do that. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm not just going to listen to what you tell me and see if the facts don't support that, right? So if this is the fight of the century, let's look at it. Boxing tickets, Canelo versus Crawford, right? Since August 29th, tickets listed 2,566, dollar value, $7 million plus worth of tickets. Hey, bro, $7 million worth of tickets.
Veteran analyst Al Bernstein tempers the hype, insisting this was not the fight boxing fans were truly asking for. He notes that Crawford versus Canelo was not driven by organic demand but by promotion. Fans, he argues, were more interested in Crawford facing natural rivals in his division, or Canelo meeting challengers closer to his weight. While the fight has appeal on paper, Bernstein believes it lacks the raw rivalry or storyline that makes a matchup truly must-watch. For him, this contest feels more like a marketing creation than a fight born out of genuine fan demand.
To have these two level of fighters meet, where does this rank at?
I think it's one of those fights that, the interesting thing is, it wasn't as if every boxing fan said, boy, I can't wait to see Canelo fight Terence Crawford. In other words, it wasn't one of those fights, like there were more boxing fans that said, gee, I'd like to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. But, having said that, I mean, among the hardcore boxing fans.
For sure.
Having said that, what they did, and this happens sometimes in boxing, they come up with a matchup that wasn't on everybody's mind, but kind of makes sense. And the proof is in the pudding. If you do one of those kind of matches and the interest is not there, you're going to find that out.
For sure.
In this case, obviously the interest was there because they've sold. I mean, I went online and looked at the the ticket sales and everything, and they've sold. It looks like they've already sold 30,000, 40,000 seats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I believe they'll sell it out.
Left, in Allegiant Stadium. So that alone is an indicator. The amount of attention and coverage the fight has gotten, and this is one of those fights that will also have a good barometer as we get closer to the fight. How much is the mainstream sports media covering the fight?
Yeah.
You know, it used to be in the old days, big fights were covered all the time by the mainstream sports media, not so much in recent years. And so that's always a barometer of whether it, really is as big as we think. As far as the actual matchup is concerned, when it was originally announced, I thought they were going to have a hard sell in convincing people that Crawford could come up 2 weight classes and take on a 168-pounder because he already moved up.
A common view among fans is that while the fight will draw huge numbers, it was not a matchup the public actively pushed for. The size and weight difference create an expectation that Canelo will dominate, which makes the outcome feel predictable. The intrigue lies in whether Crawford can defy those odds and shock the world. If he wins, it will be remembered as one of boxing's greatest upsets. If he loses, many will dismiss it as inevitable. The tension between hope for a miracle and expectation of the obvious is what fuels the drama around this fight.
Tickets available for this fight because of that undercard. This promotion has been just, it's very interesting, man. Number one, there's no real reason for this fight to take place. Terence Crawford and Canelo. Nobody was asking for the fight. There's no natural connection between the two fighters. There's just two names that people think are on the top of a hypothetical list called the pound for pound list that many people act as if it's real. So they're two top pound for pound people, and they put them together and think this makes some big magic match. It may be a magic match once they get in the ring if Terence Crawford can overcome Canelo Alvarez. It's got a real potential for that. But what happens if the fight winds up just being what more than likely it'll be, which is Terence Crawford trying to get away from the bigger, stronger Canelo Alvarez? Because again, he's jumping so many weight classes. That's the gimmick. That jumping the weight class is the gimmick that is supposed to be attracting people to this fight. Gimmicks are not gonna pull it. And you can't tell me of the people. Now, there's gonna be many people in the stadium. People go to the fight for sure. There are gonna be people out there for that event. But you can't tell me that particular event with the fights that they have on that card is going to be some memorable night of boxing, other than maybe it taking place in the main event. You have people. Many of these fighters are not from the United States. As I look from them, I mean, I would have to go out and see in the United States how many fighters from the United States do they actually have, right?
Observers have been amazed by Crawford's physical transformation at 175 pounds. Photos and reports show a noticeably stronger physique, broader shoulders, a thicker neck, and defined muscle, without losing sharpness or agility. This suggests Crawford has tailored his body to withstand Canelo's physicality, investing in strength training that boosts power while preserving speed. For fans, this version of Crawford brings reassurance that he won't be undersized, sparking fresh debates over whether size will truly decide the fight.
Bud Crawford is absolutely ripped, absolutely shredded. What looks to be about 175. Now he fights next Saturday, a week out from the fight. It's a week out from the weigh-in, so I'm sure that you look at Terence Bud Crawford right there, and you see he is absolutely shredded right there. And this is a week before the weigh-in, right? So I'm pretty sure he's probably weighing about 174, something of that magnitude, maybe about 173. 175 is probably the max he is at right now, because obviously the weight is at 168, and he's a week out. So he might be around 173, drop 5 pounds next Friday for the weigh-in, right? So Terence Crawford, as I showed you guys, is training and putting a mass in his shoulders and in his legs. As you can see here, once again, right? He hasn't gained a lot of muscle mass except in his shoulders, okay? When you look at Terence Crawford in previous fights, previous weigh-ins, his arms look pretty much the same. His neck and his shoulders is where you can see a clear difference from fights in the past, right? When you look at his midsection, his core, right, you can see the waterway, right? So right now, it's going to look like his midsection, his core is going to look bigger than...
Canelo Alvarez's credentials remain unmatched. Turning professional at just 15, he has spent decades facing the biggest names in the sport. His toolkit includes one of the best jabs in boxing, iron durability, and an ability to adapt mid-fight. Having conquered multiple divisions and thrived under immense pressure, Canelo represents the ultimate test for Crawford. His combination of toughness, skill, and intelligence makes him a dangerous opponent for anyone, no matter how talented.
A guru in the ring? Absolutely. He is one of the best fighters ever created in humanity. But you cannot say that I'm going to come in with 5 pounds taped across my arms and legs and then go against Canelo Alvarez. He's not going against some dude who doesn't have counter punches, who doesn't have a ring IQ. Canelo's been fighting since 15 and is one of the few fighters who has taken literally less punishment than, say, Caleb Plant, who has like 25 fights. If you look at the amount of punishment that Caleb Plant has taken in his fights, Canelo has probably taken less punishment than that. And he's coming in hungry. And he's going to come in with 87 billion Mexicans in the ring walk, everybody flying flags. You don't know what Crawford's stage fight is going to be, coming in front of 70,000 people. Canelo's been there. He's going to put...
That's all for today's breakdown. Stay tuned for more updates and analysis. Until next time.